Pilipinas. Habang papalapit ang mahal na araw, inaasahan ng Department of Tourism ang pagdagsa ng halos 30 milyong lokal at banyagang turista sa iba't ibang destinasyon sa bansa. Ayon kay Tourism Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco, na activate na ang DOT ang kanilang Regional Operation Centers para tiyakin ang maayos na daloy ng mga turista, lalo na sa mga lugar na inaasahang magiging matao ngayong holiday season. Ang mga operations centers na ito ay nakatalaga upang mag-monitor at mag-cooperate at makipag-coordinate sa mga pangunahing tourist spots, layuning masiguro ang maayos na pamamahala at karanasang ligtas para sa lahat. Panoorin po natin ito. Good news na naman para sa ating mga estudyante sa Barangay Pulong, Sampaloc Elementary School sa Doña Remedios Trinidad sa Bulacan. Malapit na matapos ang renovation ng classroom building na ginagawa doon bilang bahagi ng Humanitarian and Civic Assistance Program sa ilalim ng Balikatan Exercises. Layon ng iaayos na classroom ang building na ito upang gawing mas maaliwalas at kaaya-aya ang learning environment ng mga mag-aaral. Patunay din ito ang commitment ng AFP at ng US Armed Forces para makatulong sa lokal na komunidad. Samantala, nagsagawa naman ng isang community health engagement activity sa Barangay Dagupan, Lalo, Cagayan. Bahagi rin ito ng Humanitarian Civic Activity or Action Program ng Balikatan. 129 na pasyente or rather residente ang nabigyan ng serbisyong medikal at dental examinations. Ang aktibidad ay bahagi rin layon ng balikat exercises na makatulong para makapalagi or mapalagi ang lokal na ekonomiya, partikular sa aspeto ng medikal at public health. At sa ating huling good news, wala ng pila sa immigration counters sa NAIA Terminal T kahit sa oras ng rush hour. Mas madali na para sa mga departing passengers ito. Kasunod ng utos ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. na makapagbigay ng mas maginhawang biyahe sa mga pasahero ngayong Holy Week. Nagtulungan ang mga ahensya ng Bureau of Immigration, MIAA, NNIC at Department of Transportation para maibsan ang mahabang pila sa immigration counters. Simula ngayong araw, lahat ng 44 immigration counters ng NAIA Terminal 3 ay bukas para mapabilis ang immigration processing ng mga pasaherong may mga biyahe sa nasabing paliparan. Ang sabi ng Pangulo, gawin nating convenient at safe ang travel experience ng ating mga pasahero at ito ang mabilis na sagot ng mga concerned agencies upang mapagaan at mapabilis ang immigration processing sa ating paliparan. At ito po ang good news natin sa araw na ito. Ngayong araw ay makakasama naman natin si Health Secretary Ted Herbosa para magbigay ng impormasyon tungkol sa naging pagtulong ng Philippine Emergency Medical Assistance Team sa Myanmar. Kasabay dito ang direktiba ng ating Pangulo patungkol sa darating na Holy Week. Good morning, Sec Ted.
Rapid agad, boss. Ganun lang. Rapid tayo.
Ipinadala ng Department of Health ang Philippine Emergency Medical Assistance Team o PMAT sa Myanmar bilang tugon sa atas ng Pangulong Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Sakay ang C-130 nakalapag ang PMAT sa Naypyidaw, Myanmar bilang bahagi ng Philippine Interagency Humanitarian Contingent. Mula rito, ikinwento ng grupo ang kanilang naging misyon doon bilang mga eksperto sa medical emergency para sumaklolo sa mga naapektuhan ng 7.7 magnitude na lindol.
Kwento kayo. Okay naman kayo lahat dyan? Walang nagka-problema, nagkasakit?
Upon entering the place po, may mga nakita po kaming mga streets na mga wasak po yung bahay. So they placed us in the center ng PNMINA para po siyang an open space. Malaki po yung space dito sa, so para po siyang market yata to before. na operational na kami within 12 hours, nakapag-set up na kami and operational na nakapagbigay na ng service sa Myanmar people.
Medyo widespread talaga yung devastation. Many were wounded, may mga missing pa, maraming injured. Healthcare system nila, medyo overwhelmed sila kasi nga takot pumasok sa mga healthcare facilities yung kanilang mga pasyente, pati mga staff. Yung kanilang mga patients nasa labas talaga.
As we see po dito sa PNMina, more on medical services po yung kailangan nila. Kasi marami po sa kanila yung may diabetes, hypertension, hindi po sila nakaka-access sa medical services. Kailangan din po talaga nila ng tulong. Hindi po sila nakakapag-check up right now kasi takot po silang magpunta ng hospital kasi natatakot silang may aftershock. Natutulog lang po sila sa mga open space, sa harap ng bahay nila. Yung psychosocial din po.
Mahirap yung psychosocial kasi language.
Yung mga teachers din po na Filipino, nag-volunteer po sila na
Wonderful. Oo.
na tumulong. As well as
Tama
mga
yan.
volunteer students po na tumutulong din po sa amin mag-interpret or mag-translate sa mga pasyente po.
So ilang patient nakikita nyo in a day?
In a day, an average of 118 patients a day po.
Pwede niyo pong ikwento po sa amin, papaano po yung routine ninyo in a normal day there in Myanmar?
Usually po, we wake up, yung iba mga 5:30, and then by 6:30 a.m. po, we have our morning exercise, and after that followed by a team huddle. We have our breakfast, then by 8, before mag-start yung operation, replenishment ng mga supplies, medicines, and medical drugs to the different areas po. And then at 8 a.m., start na po ng operation until 5 p.m. Then after 5 p.m., nagpapaiko po kami post evaluation and team debriefing at 5:30, 8 p.m. submission na po ng reports.
Ano po yung mga limitations po na kinailangan po ninyong i-address when you were starting to build the camp? Limitado po yung kuryente, yung tubig po, kamusta?
Bali po, nung una pong dating namin dito, naghanap po kami ng source na pwedeng mapagkunan. So, meron naman pong nagmagandang loob na magpa-connect po ng source ng tubig. Bali po, bukod po dun sa malinis na tubig na i-produce gamit nung dala naming RO machine, marami din pong mga nagdo-donate ng mga bottled water. So, hindi po kami kinakapos.
Sobrang bait po ng mga tao rito. Actually, kanina may family kami from Yangon na nagpunta lang rito para mag-donate ng
Wow.
water and
How
food.
far from
Kasi
Yangon?
napanood nila sa news yata na may Philippine team daw na dito sa PNMina. Kaya everyday po marami kaming supply ng water, so pati food. So yun po yung binibigay din namin sa mga patients na nag-aantay. Lalo na pag tanghali na po para may makain sila. And mainit din po, kaya we need to provide them with water.
The news articles are saying that the people of Myanmar are very thankful. And totoo naman, nadinig namin sa inyo, binibigyan kayo.
For drivers with nearsightedness, glare from the sun can be dangerous. You must wear these sunglasses. They easily clip onto your regular glasses. They block strong light, glare, and reflections. With UV protected, sun-blocking lenses. No more worrying about glaring sunlight while driving. Weighing less than 20 grams. They won't press on you.
So yun, nakita niyo yung video clip ng ating 32-man team. This is a Philippine Emergency Medical Assistance Team na WHO classified or certified, verified. Na last September lang tayo na verified. Medyo mga 7 taon kami nagte-training. We have 3 of these teams out of 52 in the world. So medyo world-class na rin tayo pagdating sa disaster. Ang features dito, yung nadinig nyo nagsasalita, si Dr. Ivy Losada. She is from the Eastern Visayas Medical Center. Yun yung team number 44 natin. And team 45 comes from Tala, sa Jose N. Rodriguez, at team 46 yung galing sa JB Lingad. Yung JB Lingad, yun yung even before ma-qualify, napadala natin sa Turkey yun. So itong team na to is composite, pero majority are from Eastern Visayas. Kaya ang maganda yung storya. They were victims in Typhoon Haiyan in 2013. Today, sila yung team na nag-respond sa 7.7 earthquake in Myanmar. And madami kami experiences. We were able to deploy in 48 hours. Thank you sa Office of Civil Defense for providing us na 2 aircraft yan. Actually, doon sa isang aircraft, puno na nung gamit ng ating field hospital team. Pag nakita mo, cramp sila doon with the equipment. And after the return, nag-hot debrief na kami in my office, and we were able to find some things that we can still improve para maging experience. Ang maganda is that most of our team members Hindi kagaya ng ibang teams, talagang sanay na sa disaster kasi marami naman tayong deployments dito locally. Nagamit din natin yung team nila, yung mga nakaraang Northern Luzon na earthquake. Pero ito yung Northern Luzon bagyo. But this is the first time we've actually deployed it internationally since the September verification and yung award ng aming certificate last November sa Abu Dhabi. So we're very proud of this team. Kung meron silang Alex Iala sa tennis, meron kaming PMAT sa Emergency Medical Assistance Team sa mundo. And we have two other teams na nag-develop. So we now have one in Central Luzon, yung JB Lingad, one in Metro Manila, and one in Visayas. Ang sabi ko nga sa EVMC, pag kami nagka-big one sa Metro Manila, kayo ang pupunta sa amin to actually help us. Tapos nagde-develop din kami ng Southern Philippines Medical Center, Cotabato Regional Medical Center for Mindanao also. So hopefully we will have teams all over. Ang plan namin is also to develop teams for national level para mabilis na rin kami mag-deploy pag nagkaroon ng, alam nyo, after summer, umpisa na naman tayo ng ulan at bagyo at baha. We will be using this Philippine Emergency Medical Teams. Questions?
So we now open the floor to questions related to the Philippine Emergency Medical Assistance Team sent to Myanmar. And we would like to call in some of those members.
Yan. I introduce Dr. Ivy Lozada, siya ang ating team leader. Ang aming nurse, si Nurse Eric, and ang aming logistics officer, si Tyrone. So, may sarili silang contraption din to develop yung pampashower nila at yung toilet nila. Actually, maganda siya pagka nakita nyo. So, self-sustained, contained team yon. Binigyan lang sila ng lupa na parang isang a small area where they built. They can answer some of your questions. Halika dito, Ivy. Sit down here. Questions?
Christian Yusores, Teleradio Servicio.
Mike.
Good morning po, Secretary, and to the team. Congratulations po. May plano po ba na bumalik po yung ating PMAT team sa Myanmar? Kasi ongoing pa rin po ata yung mga activities ng government to rescue or help yung mga victims po ng earthquake.
Actually, our team was supposed to, can be deployed for 14 days, no? But we were operational 10 days. Kasi yung pala yung mission order. May composite team kami na search and rescue. Ang usual tradition ng Office of Civil Defense, 10 days lang. But our team is packed and logistics-wise can stay for 14 days. So bumalik na because that's the plane trip, no? Pero nagpadala din kami the day before ng 6-man team for psychosocial support of the Filipinos in Yangon. So may psychosocial team ako from National Center for Mental Health that are there processing our citizens na medyo affected by the disaster in Myanmar. So tuloy yung assistance.
Nel Maribohok, UNTV.
Good morning po. Ano pa yung natutunan natin dito sa pag-responde natin sa Myanmar na maaaring ma-i-adapt natin dito sa Pilipinas?
So number one, the fact na naka-deploy tayo ng within 48 hours, naunahan po natin yung pinakamayamang bansa dito sa ASEAN, yung Singapore. At kinukwento nila sa akin, nung nag-set up sila ng kanilang field hospital, 6 hours na set up na nila. That's because of training. Kinukwento sa akin yung Singapore, 2 araw bago na-set up at operational yung tent nila. Pero punta na tayo, no? It comes with training, it comes with planning, yung equipment, and then ang maganda doon, may prepared teams na tayo with gamit in all others. So what we learned is kailangan pala magkaroon ako sa Department of Health ng logistics and secretariat for these teams that we are developing para centralize na yung aming mga logistics and supply chain. Alam niyo, pag disaster kasi, the main important thing is being able to bring logistics at saka tao to the area affected. So with the help of the Office of Civil Defense and our Air Force, mabilis tayo naka-respond. So I think world-class tayo if you tell me na in the ASEAN region, 3 lang yung in-accept nila. They only accepted the Philippine team, the Japanese team, and the Singapore. And then later, Indonesia na allow din. Later, nagpadala din ng Indonesia. Pero tayo ang una.
Thank you, sir.
Eden Santos, Net25.
Secretary, good morning po. Ito po ba ay assurance sa ating mga kababayan since ang Pilipinas po, especially Metro Manila at yung mga kalapit na lugar, ay pinaghahanda po sa The Big One?
Correct. No? This is part of our alam mo, pagka nagpunta ka sa mga international agencies, World Health Organization, UNDP, and all other, UNICEF, panay Pilipino rin yung mga nagiging leader niyan. So we are really supplying the world not only with nurses but with doctors and staff that are good in disaster risk reduction and management. So talagang isa to sa ating pinagmamalaki. Kasi nga, battle tested. Most of our personnel, hindi uurong na nilang kwento nga sa akin ni Ivy. Sabi ko, tinatanong ko, meron bang natakot? May umiyak ba? May nahirapan? Hindi daw. Mga experience naman lahat. We also had teams from the Turkey, yung Turkey mission, nakasama na in-embed namin doon para merong may experience. Mas hirap yung Turkey kasi yung Turkey, sub-zero. Yung clothes hindi pang below 35. Ito at least tropical climate. And correct. So, mas maganda environment. Okay, ayun.
Choose New, DZBB.
Good morning, Secretary.
Good morning.
Sila po ba ay naipresent na natin kay Presidente o may plano po ba na ma-courtesy call sila kay Presidente, at least mabigyan sila ng recognition or something, commendation?
Of course, like the rest of the team, tandaan nyo, 91 team yung pinadala natin. It's a composite team, not only of medical teams. Although yung medical team yung naging pinaka-busy, meron tayong meron tayong team, search and rescue team, USAR team, urban search and rescue team from the Bureau of Fire. Meron tayong MMDA team, meron din tayong team sa from the private sector, and then there's the Army and the Air Force disaster response teams. So composite to 91, pero yung pinaka-busy yung medical kasi nga tapos na yung rescue eh. After 48 hours na tayo dumating. So most of the health services nila, emergency and essential medical care. So busy.
Ray Pardilla, People's Television.
I think the mic is there.
Good morning po, Secretary. Secretary, will the teams deployed to Myanmar also responsible for training future emergency response teams? And what is the ideal number po for emergency medical personnel needed kapag nagkaroon ng the big one? And how are we addressing the gaps?
Okay, so the training continues. We're going to do continuous training and improvement. In fact, this is my instruction to Dr. Ivy, that we start training and accepting new members. Each hospital has about 100 trained personnel. Iba-iba yan. May doctor, may nurse, may logistics, may engineer, merong all these other specialties kasi it's a composite team. And then we continue to get young people to be trained in it. The beauty is na umpisahan na natin. And then these hospitals are also the ones trying to train the other ones that want to be WHO verified. So in fact, the other one I'm instructing them to do is, our level is type 1. Tatlong level kasi yan, type 1, type 2, type 3. Yung type 1 verification, outpatient and emergency care. Yung type 2, may konting surgery na and inpatient. At yung type 3, yung may ICU na at parang field hospital. So we're going to go to that level. Akyatin din natin yung type level types ng ating international verification. Thank you.
I guess one last question related to the emergency response team or the Department of Health. Pierre Pastor, Billionario News Channel.
Hi, Secretary. Immediate other concern po. It's so hot na po. So ano po ang nakahanda ba yung hospitals for heat stroke patients? And ano po yung mga emergency, yung first aid that we can do?
So let me say that the Department of Health has declared code white of all our hospitals. That means they're ready for all the incidents that can happen for people traveling for this Holy Week. Number 2, of course, are warnings for the effects of heat illness, especially for people going to hot areas like the beaches. So very important, stay protected. So sunscreen for those going out, hydration, and then don't stay too long in the sun for those people. And then of course, every Holy Week, nagkakaroon kami ng mga problems of drowning and near drowning. So very important then to make and watch your family, especially in these places where you are vacationing and relaxing. Make sure, do not drink and drive, do not text and drive, and follow the rules of the road. Sana walang road rage kasi nga ano naman tayo, di ba? Holy Week, be patient and be kind to the other road users.
Pag nakaramdam ng something, ano po ba yung gagawin?
Okay, so usually if it's a heat-related illness, it starts with either thirst, very severe thirst, tapos you can have a lot of cold sweats, and then eventually pagka hindi mo na correct yun, magko-collapse ka. So it's important early on na mag-cool down ka. So the first thing you have, if you're thirsty, you drink plenty of water. If you feel weak, fatigue, ang tinatawag na next step after thirst is yung heat fatigue or heat weaknesses, mag-shade ka na or mag-aircon ka na. So very important. Majority of the heat illnesses, nagre-recover basta na-treat early. We do not wait for them na mag-collapse. Kasi pag nag-collapse ka sa emergency and tuloy mo, we will have to treat you in emergency setting.
Thank you very much.
Prone yung mga matatanda at mga bata at yung mga may illness. So make sure these people don't stay too out in the hot environment.
Thank you very much, Secretary Herbosa, and to the members of the Emergency Medical Assistance Team. Yusek Claire.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary Ted Herbosa ng Department of Health and members of the team. Pwede na po na natin silang excuse. Salamat po. Ngayon naman po ay makakasama natin ang ilang miyembro ng Philippine National Police para naman sa anti-criminality efforts na utos ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. Nandito po ngayon sina Major General Roderick Augustus Alba and Director for Police Community Relations at saka si PNP Public Information Office Chief Colonel Randolph Tuanyo. Ay, sir. Ayun na po.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary Claire. Members of the Press Corps of Malacanang, magandang umaga po. In behalf of our Chief Philippine National Police, Police General Romel Francisco Marbil, allow me to read our statement, opening statement. This is in connection po sa pagpapanatili ng ating safety and security during this Lenten season. The Philippine National Police, in partnership with other law enforcement agencies, is fully committed to ensuring a safe, peaceful, and meaningful observance of Holy Week across the country. Through our operational guidelines, we call this Ligtas Humbak 2025, we have strategically deployed our personnel and mobilized force multipliers. Ito po yung ating mga volunteer groups na tumutulong po sa ating kapulisan to key areas of convergence. When we say key convergence areas, ito po yung ating mga simbahan, yung house of worships, yung ating tourist areas, yung ating terminals, the airports and ports, yung ating mga highways ay kasama po doon, and other busy establishments. So mayroon po tayong estimated of 65,000 more PNP personnel nationwide na i-deploy po sa terminal, transport hubs, pilgrimage sites, simbahan, tourist destinations. At ito po ay nakasaad sa aming guideline ang magkaroon po ng enhanced police presence or visible pong ating Philippine National Police. We'll also augment mobile patrols kasi po ang ating concentration ay sa highly populated areas now. Mayroon po mga kabahayan, mga subdivision areas, residential areas ay naiwanan po mga bahay. So ito rin po ay isang focus namin. Now, we have not received any threat for that matter for our security and safety this Lenten season as of today. But on the part of the PNP, we remain on full alert, especially in historically vulnerable areas. Our intelligence units are closely coordinating with the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Kasama namin dito yung Philippine Coast Guard to preempt any threats from any groups who would want to magkaroon po ng disorder yung ating bansa. So as to our vital installations, we all have also increased deployment of our personnel around power plants, communication infrastructure, and transportation terminals. We're also closely coordinating with private security groups and local crisis management councils. Sinabi po natin, Good Secretary kanina, mayroong mga possible road mishaps, sea mishaps. Ito po ay aming pinagpreparahan sa ngayon on the part of the Philippine National Police. Thank you.
We now open the floor to questions for Major General Alba. Pia Gutierrez, ABS-CBN News.
Sir, regarding this Holy Week, ano po yung payo po natin sa ating mga travelers, especially pati din sa mga mag-i-stay lang po sa kanilang bahay to ensure their safety during this Holy Week break?
Yes. Una-una ay we should remain vigilant, no? Yun ang sabi nga natin, yung crime are attributed to three elements, yung opportunity, yung instrumentality, at yung motive. So kailangan po nating maging vigilant tayo. We save cellphone numbers sa ating mga cellphones at bago tayo magbiyahe ay alam natin yung mga hotline numbers kung saan po tayo pupunta. And of course, atin pong ipagbilin, no, sa ating mga kasamang bahay or neighbors natin, no, yung mga ating pupuntahan, and make sure na properly guarded yung ating bahay. Of course, na-mention din kanina yung mga risks sa health. Kailangan po nating we are healthy, no, during lalo na yung pagdadala natin ng mga sasakyan. So ito po ay isa sa mga mabisang advice ng ating Philippine National Police. And of course, we have to closely monitor yung ating advisories from government, no, lalo na sa social media, and closely coordinate with all the Sumbak help desk na naitalaga po sa different ports and seaports sa ating bansa. That way, you can easily access all government help through this desk.
And on another topic, sir, yung VACC po is calling for a stronger government response on the recent spate of kidnappings in the country, saying that the administration needs to rethink its strategy in addressing and preventing and solving kidnapping cases. So ano po ang response ng PNP dito at kung may directive din po si Pangulong Marcos tungkol dito?
Yes, unang-una we acknowledge yung information coming from VACC. But of course, our PNP is focused sa ating continuous law enforcement operations and anti-criminality operations. Mayroon pong tumututok na Special Investigation Task Group sa itong reported kidnapping incident. But of course, we cannot compromise other security aspect ng ating bansa, no? Especially yung lalo na sa Lenten season at itong ating patuloy na pagtulong sa ating Commission on Elections sa pagpapanatili ng peace and order during this election period. But of course, we acknowledge nga yung sabi ng ating VACC, and we are actually restructuring yung ating, as guided by our Chief PNP, yung ating anti-kidnapping group na lalo mapapalakas yung grupo na ito to curb incidents such as kidnapping. And I'd like also to report, aside from these initiatives, last April 11 po, yung ating Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber Commerce Industry Incorporated ay mismong pumunta po sa himpilan ng ating Chief PNP kasama yung key personnel ng Philippine National Police. And amidst this ongoing investigation, they asked kung ano pong pwedeng maitutulong ng kanilang chamber. Remember that they have 170 chambers from Apari to Hulo, yung ating chamber, and they can really help sa peace and order. Ang pag-usapan po doon at nirecommend ng ating PNP is to create a specialized desk. Tawag namin dito is PCFC, PNP Chinese Filipino Community Help Desk. So this is a desk liaisoning lahat ng concerns po ng ating sector from the Chinese Filipino. We talk here on protecting yung ating kasamahan sa community and engaging them with the project and activities na panatili po na ma-sustain natin yung ating peace and order as far as the Filipino-Chinese community is concerned. But definitely, magkakaroon muna po kami ng pilot testing, itong proyekto na ito. Like for example, in Manila, particularly in Binondo, where the highly concentrated yung ating communities, in Cebu, Davao, Iloilo, in Region 3. Now, if we see that magiging successful yung project na ito po ay ito pong long-term, isa sa mga long-term solution or interventions ng PNP na ma-address po natin yung mga incidents na ganito po.
Chris Jose Remate.
Have you heard of the ear pinch method for brain fog? Did you know memory loss isn't just about aging? Scientists have found
Hello, sir. Good morning po. Balik lang po tayo sa Holy Week. Nakipag-coordinate na po ba ang PNP sa mga barangay officials?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, kasama po sila sa deployment na sinasabi natin because the 65,000 personnel are not purely members of the uniform service ng PNP. Sa PNP lang po ito. We are actually deploying 40,000. Yung 40,000 na ito po ay discovers the entire summer vacation security deployment. Now, pagdating pa ng Holy Week, we increase it with another 25,000. Aside from this, we will be engaging volunteer groups. So kasama po yung ating local government units and other organizations that accredited ng PNP that help us sa aming safety and security operations all through
People's Television.
Na food security ng Pilipinas.
Okay. Kung ang bigas ang ating pag-uusapan, masasabi ko na we are on track. In fact, in less than a year, from one day to last buffer stock, ngayon po ay 9.36 na. So we are on track and we are continuously increasing our buffer stock for rice. Alam naman natin ang bigas ang pangunahing gauge for food security. And for this year, dahil nabago na nga yung RTL, we will increase our buffer stock up to 15 days. So from 9.36, i-hit natin yung 15 days hanggat meron po tayong pambili ng palay sa mga magsasaka.
Kasi po yung issue ng food security ay lead agency is Department of Agriculture. Tama po ba?
Tama po yan.
At hindi po ang Department of Social Welfare and Development.
Ang primary mandate po ni Department of Agriculture is palakasin ang sektor ng agrikultura for food security.
Okay po. Nabanggit niyo po na merong 30 pesos na kilo ng bigas at parang meron ding 20 pesos. Tama po ba?
33 pesos 33. At 29 pesos.
29. Ito po ay limitado lamang yung supply na maibebenta po sa ating mga kababayan or mas marami pong mga mahirap na Pilipinong maaari pong maka-avail nito?
In terms of volume na pwede namin ilabas, pwede kong sabihin hindi limitado ang volume kasi sa napakarami nating stocks na kailangan din nating ilabas. But in terms of availment per individual or per household, meron pong mga isinet na parameters ang Department of Agriculture para po hindi rin naman masamantala. Sa P29, para sa mga vulnerable sectors, I think tinaas ni Secretary Francisco Chu Laurelian into 30 kilos per month.
Last question na lang po, Administrator. Yun pong 2.2 million bags of palay na nabili sa first quarter po, saan po specific na mga lugar ito o probinsya ng ating mga magsasaka nabili?
Ito po ay buong Pilipinas except for NCR at saka a little sa Region 7 kasi wala talaga silang production noon.
Thank you po.
Eileen Taliping Abante.